Hello everyone, it's me Black Rose, and I was asked to do this video um, talking about my gypsy background because I made a video the other day and it wasn't very long. So this is about my gypsy heritage. I've got some photos to show you as well. Well, for me growing up as a gypsy it was good because kids don't like to go to school, and I never ever went to school. I never went to school at all. So what I did learn was in and out of schools. Like if we pulled in a place, if we travelled and we had to stay in a place for my father to get work for a couple of weeks, then they would put me into school. So I was in and out of school quite a bit and didn't really make a lot of friends. The best friends I had was myself and my mum. My grandmother had my mother in here in England, and she was born in a wagon, my mum, and so that's how they lived. She used to go to school, but it was very rare because when my mum was about 10, 11, she had to work and look after the other kids and stuff like that. But then she met my dad, was 16, got married and eventually had my brothers and then me. And so we lived in caravans all our life. And then when I was about 11, we moved to Australia. My dad paid for his own fares to go to Australia, and we lived out there for 30 years. Yeah, so it's been a long, I never went to school. It's only sometimes I used to go to school. So, but can I read and write? Yes, I can read and write. And my spelling's not that very good. If anybody's ever seen my spelling when I leave comments, that sometimes I can't spell the words properly, but that's because I'm a gypsy, never went to school. But I quite like living in a caravan. I do miss living in a caravan. I stopped living in a caravan up to about 11 years ago when I met my husband now, who's Portuguese. I've been married twice. My first husband wasn't a gypsy. So I rebelled a little bit because I never married gypsies. And that didn't go down well either because, yeah, a lot of gypsy people, if you've watched Big Fat Gypsy Wedding or Gypsy Blood, a lot of them are related to me. But the generation today of children are not as strict as they used to be in my days. I mean, they all go to school today. They all settle down in caravans, a lot of in houses, but they still have their caravans as well. And a lot of them do still travel and live on the side of the roads or wherever they can go. But we're like nomads. We just, my father would stay in a place for a little while and then he'd move, and I'd go to school if there was a school there. But yeah, and I remember my grandmother getting out with her big cauldron and doing the soup and stews and everything, and growing up was very mystical for me because we were involved in all that, and it was really good. And I used to see my mum and my grandmum and my aunties that all get together, and it was really magical for me. And I was brought up with all my nephews and not my nephews, my cousins, and we were all together. It was really nice. But anyway, I'm going to show you some pictures of my grandparents. I don't know if you can see very well because this light is really horrible. But if you can see, which was that's my two cousins and my grandparents. This was my mum. You can see my mum's legs there. That's me as a child. It's really hard to see, really. I don't know if you can see. Hang on a minute. If I can get the laptop to throw off some light. That's me there, that little girl. And that's all my mum's corgis. Well, she had 7. And that's my mum there. So we used to live in a caravan there out on the field, and that's how my mum used to dress me, really. Yeah. And then when I was a little bit older, I had a horse, and that's me on the horse, if you can see. Sorry about this camera, guys. I need to get another camera, but this is me here. Yeah. So another one is my grandparents, their caravan. That's my grandma there, led on the deck chair, getting a tan. That's my grandma there. The caravan's in the background. What else? Which other ones have I got? That's me there. It's not a very good one, that is. That's in England. That's a caravan. And I am... Where am I? I think that's me there. There, just under my grandma. Just by my grandma. Or my granny, I used to call her. And then that's another picture of my cousin, just there. And the caravan. And I want to show this one here. Hang on. Oh, that was my grandma's shed outside. In the, you know, she used to put her shed up outside because they never used to cook inside the caravan. They cook in a little shed like that. It was all done up really nice, and they'd have their cauldron for their soups and things outside. But there's a picture here I want to show you of me. I've showed you that one. Of me and... Oh, that's my dad in Australia. He was a sign writer, and that's my brother there. That's our caravan. And where's this picture? Oh, there we go. That's me there, that little girl. Sorry, guys. That little girl just sitting on the step there, that's me. You can just make me out because this camera's not very good. But that was my grandmother's caravan. Yeah, so I hope you can see that. Yeah, so yes, guys, that was me. So that was my upbringing when I was younger. And my grandmother, she used to go and sell heather a lot in a big basket, and she used to go selling heather, and she used to tell me lots of stories about ghosts and that, what she'd seen, because they used to go out picking the heather late at night, and she used to tell me about all these ghost stories that she's seen people going through. She heard this, they were out one day, it was about 12 midnight, and she was gathering up the heather, and she saw this car coming with lots of people and a young woman dressed up with makeup, and like in the Charleston days. And she said she looked, and the car just went right through the gates and into this big mansion house. And so yeah, she'd tell me stories like that. I used to love listening to her stories. But yeah, that's a bit of my background, and now I'm living in a house, like I said, for 11 years, and it's, I want my children to be in school. I don't really want them not to be in school, because it was quite hard for me growing up, and sometimes I have difficulties now, trying to get jobs and stuff. That's why I stick to my nails and doing things that I know what to do. And I've been a nurse, and so I've ventured out a little bit into the world, but it's still very difficult when you can't go to school. So yeah, I hope that didn't bore everybody, but I was asked to do this little video to say about how I lived as a child. So now you know. So anyway, if anybody wants to know any more, you got any questions, just leave a message in the down bar down there, or whatever it's called, the comment bar in it, and I'll be willing to answer any questions you want. So take care, everyone, and blessed be. This camera does not want to go off. This is why I need a new camera. Okay, guys, gotta take this way. Ciao.